Exactly 2 weeks ago, I stepped into the ring and I had a Muay Thai fight. And ever since that moment, I've been reflecting back on that and the lessons that it's taught me. And yesterday, when talking to some friends and sharing my experience, I had an insight, I had a revelation about how much it's actually related to business. So if you're watching this video and you are an entrepreneur and you're currently feeling stuck for whatever reason, maybe you're not reaching the revenue milestones that you want, maybe you're unclear about the next steps, or maybe you're even like in self-doubt or procrastinating on your progress, then the insight that I had, I think, is a very valuable one. At least it has been for me. And the whole experience of stepping into the ring, facing an opponent, going back to almost like a primal instinct about survival is so closely related to the journey of being an entrepreneur, to stepping in the unknown and getting out of your comfort zone, that this is something that I really wanted to touch upon, because both elements are really dear to me when it comes to pushing myself physically and mentally when it comes to the entrepreneurship and building my business and striving for that next version of yourself, as well as stepping into that ring. And I'm assuming this is the same for you. If you're watching this, then you're curious about how to upscale your business, how to become that next level version of yourself when it comes to building your business and serving your clients. So it's been 2 weeks since I stepped into the ring, and this is something that I always wanted to do, but I always procrastinated out of fear. I always said, oh, I'll do another fight. Like my last fight was 15 years ago when I was like 17. And I always wanted to do another fight, but for some reason I always pushed this back out of fear for the amount of effort that I had to put in, the amount of time it would consume, the amount of time that I could not dedicate to my business, to my clients, and the commitment that I had to make to myself. And obviously also the fear of stepping into the ring with someone whose main objective is to knock you out and to really fight for your life basically in that ring, and having all of the people and friends watching you. And I decided end of last year, when I was at a crucial point mentally, also within business, to push through any fear that I had when it comes to investing large sums of money for my business, when it comes to hiring team members, when it comes to scaling my ads in my business, but also in terms of this personal experience that I wanted to do for so long, which meant stepping into the ring. And I knew that by committing to this, to my trainer, to my friends, but mainly to me, to make that commitment, I knew that this would require at least training twice a day, pushing myself physically, mentally beyond any limit, because I wanted to show up as the best version of myself in that fight. And that was the most important thing for me, to really level up physically, mentally, and see where my boundaries were, where my comfort zone was, and to push through that. Because in my experience and in my belief, pushing through those boundaries in the comfort zone, this is really where the real growth comes from. So this was the main objective for me, and that journey towards the fight has taught me a lot. And I will share with you like how much this relates to business as well, specifically the fight that I had, working up towards the fight, as I heard who my opponent was. And I knew my opponent. I spoke to him a couple of times, and I actually realized that this person that I was going to face in the ring wasn't training as hard as I was. He wasn't putting in the effort that I was putting in, which motivated me more to even train more. But at the same time, I also developed the limiting belief that it was going to be easy, to step into the ring and I would knock him out first round. And I had this whole visualization in my mind of how the fight would go, and feeling that I would have the benefit of more experience and more reps in the gym, that it was going to be an easy fight. Stepping into the ring, nevertheless, as soon as we touched gloves, I got a straight punch to the face in the first second. A hard punch, because the dude was strong. Ash, if you're watching this, great punch, man. And I realized instantly that this was going to be a very, very tough fight. And this is something that I had physically prepared for, maybe not mentally, because mentally I was going to assume I was going to punch him out first round, but I actually had to go the full 3 rounds, 3 times 3 minutes, meaning 9 minutes, and I never had to push so hard as I did in that fight. Mentally, physically, it came down to a point where I had self-doubt. And again, maybe this is you at this point, or maybe this was you, or maybe it will be you, because this is why I wanted to share this. But I remember the second round, I had a voice who's like, maybe you're not going to win. Maybe just give away the trophy to this guy because he's too strong. And that I really had to fight that voice. It was more of a voice than the physical element, even though I was freaking tired as well. And it was much about pushing through. And the funny thing is that I've always, if people ask me, specifically in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, if they ask me like, how is it to be an entrepreneur? How is it to start your own business? And perhaps you relate to this as well. I always said, and I always compared it, and this was the insight that I had, I always compared it, funnily enough, to the exact fight that I only had 2 weeks ago. But even before that fight, I always used to use this analogy where I was like, business is something that you underestimate, because everyone on Instagram is making millions, everyone's making bank, and a lot of people are sold this dream to make passive income, to retire, to do whatever. But once you step into the ring and once you step into the entrepreneurship, then you start to realize that it's not that easy. It requires learning, it requires understanding how to create leverage, it requires dedication, it requires working weekends, getting up early, it requires maybe not seeing your friends, giving up alcohol, whatever you need to do to grow your business. Because for a lot of us, it's a lot harder than you had initially anticipated on. And this is exactly what was happening to me in the ring as well. I was thinking it was easy, but it was a much tougher fight than I could have imagined. And this was the same for me in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, where I was sold this dream that by creating a course, creating a funnel, creating an automation, I would have passive income and it would be easy life. But I had to go through so many learnings. I had to put myself so much to the test of what it requires to be an entrepreneur, to understand how to sell, how to acquire clients, how to serve clients, how to create content, how to use your different channels, how to overcome fear of running your ad or investing in that mentorship. And this fight that I had with my opponent was such a beautiful reflection of that journey, of, I guess, that never-ending journey, because another level, another devil, because every time you level up within entrepreneurship, you'll find some new challenges for you to overcome. Same as stepping in the ring. If you would do more fights, like, your opponents will become stronger. And that's the same thing in entrepreneurship. And I just realized, which was a tough realization in that moment, but something that is a core value to me in terms of how I want to show up in life and how I show up in life, is that discipline and mindset of that you'll only fail as soon as you quit. Like, you cannot fail if you don't quit. So again, if you're currently stuck and you're doubting yourself, the only way you can really fail is when you throw in the towel. But if you keep standing, keep throwing punches, and even though your opponent might get the trophy, you would still have put in the effort, and would still be your lessons and your learnings, and there will be another fight. But as soon as you quit, you throw in the towel, you never step back into that ring again. If you stop your business, you go back to the payroll, you give up on your dreams because you feel that you failed, then you will fail. But if you feel that you're actually winning by comparing yourself to what you did yesterday, the week before, the month before, the year before, and you look at the journey that you're actually undergoing, your journey, not the journey of anyone else, not comparing yourself to anyone else, not comparing yourself to your future goalpost of, I want to hit 10K, and if you hit 10K, you want to hit 30, because this will always create the gap, right? But if you keep comparing yourself to who you were yesterday, or the week, or the month before, you can never fail. As long as you don't give up, you can never fail, and there will be success. That is inevitable. It is inevitable if you keep going and keep pushing, and that's eventually what got me through the fight, is that mindset. And my opponent had the same mindset of never to give up, and it was such a beautiful, strong, intense, tiring, harsh, survival of the fittest fight, which I'm very proud of that I did, and very proud of all the preparations that I put in, and very humbled to be fighting such an opponent with the same mindset. So the lesson that I had is that it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same as the entrepreneurial journey. You most likely underestimate how much work it takes, and you probably get punched in the face a million times, but the question is, do you keep punching back? Do you keep getting up? And do you keep going? Or do you quit, throw in a towel, and give up on your dreams because you're uncomfortable? That's what it comes down to. Yes, as an entrepreneur, you need to learn to be uncomfortable. And I am still learning to be uncomfortable, different levels of the entrepreneurial journey. And it's something that I'm learning to embrace. And yeah, if you're currently doubtful, if you're currently stuck, then I would encourage you and invite you to sit in that discomfort, sit in the discomfort of growth, because that's just what's gonna raise your bar and get you to the next level. May it be running your ads, following up with your clients, hiring a team member, getting scrappy, doing the groundwork again, starting your YouTube channel, whatever fear is holding you back, whatever makes you uncomfortable, this is where the growth is. So this is the lesson that I wanted to share with you guys after the fight and after comparing this to my business, because I feel there's such a powerful message in there. At least there was for me, and hopefully there is for you as well, about never giving up, about the persistence, perseverance, and putting in the reps, which eventually will inevitably control your outcomes. You can only control the reps that you're putting in, and it will give you the outcomes that you want. So guys, I will leave you with that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to check out my Instagram channel as well, and I will see you guys in the next video.